Day 561 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again. Another day, another LeetCode problem where we're doing daily LeetCode problems. And today we have question number 367, valid perfect square. The difficulty level is easy, so you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as well. But before we get started, y'all, don't forget to like, hype, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go ahead and check out that link in the description so you can get you some. Now let's see what the question says. Given a positive integer num, return true if num is a perfect square or false otherwise. A perfect square is an integer that is the square of an integer. In other words, it is the product of some integer with itself. You must not use any built-in library functions such as sqrt for square root. All right, y'all, so that sounds pretty simple, but let's go ahead and take a look at these examples just to make sure that we are doing this problem correctly. So, in example 1, we have our input num equals 16, the output is true. The explanation says we return true because 4 times 4 equals 16, and 4 is an integer. So all we're trying to do is saying, once again, the name perfect square. Can we take an integer, multiply it by itself, and get our input num? And in this case, we can. We could take 4 times 4, which equals to 16. So really, we're just looking for the square root, right? Does this number have a perfect square root without any decimals? So let's take a look at example 2, where it's an example where it doesn't have a perfect square. So in example 2, we have the input num equals 14. The output is false because we return false because 3.742 times 3.742 equals 14, and 3.742 is not an integer, y'all. So the square root of num needs to be an integer with no decimals. It cannot have any decimals, right? And where you can see in example 2, it has decimals, so that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a perfect square where we could just take one integer, multiply it by itself, and get the input nums, right? So I hope that makes sense to y'all. And now that we understand the question, let's get into the fun part, the actual solution. Y'all, solution is not that difficult. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to initialize the binary search range, and we're going to start at 1 and go up to num, since the perfect square will be less than or equal to num. So we can come right here, declare a variable called start, set that equal to 1. Then we'll declare another variable called end, set that equal to num. Boom. Then we're going to perform binary search to check if it's a perfect square. So we're going to say while, open up the parentheses, start minus equals end. Then we're going to come outside of that and we're going to open up the brackets. We're going to calculate the middle value of the current range by saying var mid. We're going to set that equal to open up the parentheses, start divided by end. Then we're going to come out, not divided by n, plus n, because we're trying to find the middle. Then we're going to divide that by 2. Boom. Then we need to compute the square root of the middle value by coming right here, declare a variable called square value, set that equal to mid times mid. Boom. Then we need to handle the case if the square equals num, then it's a perfect square. So we need to handle that by saying, coming underneath this, we're going to say if, open up the parentheses, square value equals mid times mid. Then we're going to come outside of that, open up the brackets, and we're going to return true. Else, we're going to come right here, we can say else if, open up the parentheses, square value is less than num. Then we come outside of that, open up the brackets, and we're going to say start equals mid plus 1. So we're going to move the search range up. Then if the square is greater than num, we're going to move the search range down by coming right here and saying else end equals mid minus 1. Boom. And if no integer square equals num, then it's not a perfect square. So if we go through all of this and we still don't find our perfect square, then we could come right here and we could just return false, y'all. So let's go ahead and give it a run. Before we submit it, make sure it runs correctly. Okay, we have an error. This should be 2 equal signs. Sorry about that, y'all. Oh, sorry. No, it shouldn't. It should be, what does it say? Hold on, y'all. Because no, it should not be 2 equal signs. It should be, oh, actually, yes, it should be 2 equal signs, y'all. I'm sorry. So now let's run it again. Oh, we got the wrong answer. So if we got the wrong answer, that normally means that we did some math wrong somewhere. So first, let's just go through this and make sure that, oh, it's right here, y'all. So this should be equal equals none. Boom. I think that should do it. Let's run it. There it is. That's accepted. So now let's go ahead and submit it. And look at that, y'all. 0 milliseconds beats 100% of users. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to see, y'all. So make sure you get one more look at the code, y'all. And yeah, I hope y'all learned something today. And I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.